I'll be yours if you let me hold you tight. But I don't know if you let me in, yeah. I know you had your heart broken one too many times, and now it's hard for you to open up. They have been cruel to you, saying things they don't mean. They have been rude to you, disrespect how you feel. But baby, I'll never go that far, 'cause I know better than that. So baby, let me hold you, hold you. I wanna show you, show you, show you how to treat you right, treat you right. Pull you closer through the highs and lows. Yeah, I wanna show you how to treat you right, treat you right. Let me show you what love is and why it's beautiful. Just put your body on top of mine, yeah. I won't treat you the same way as other girls who have no shame. No, I die for you. They have been cruel to you, saying things they don't mean. They have been rude to you, disrespect how you feel. But baby, I'll never go that far, 'cause I know better than that. So baby, let me hold you, hold you. I wanna show you, show you, show you how to treat you right, treat you right. Pull you closer through the highs and lows. Yeah, I wanna show you how to treat you right, treat you right. Treat you right, treat you right. Treat you right, treat you right. Yeah, I would never ever let you go. I would treat you right, treat you right. Baby, I would always hold you close. So baby, let me hold you.
Oh no. Okay, let me figure out what's happening. My camera, why is my camera doing this? All right. There we go. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. If you're here live, give me a thumbs up in the comments to let me know that you can hear me okay. I gotta figure out why it keeps doing that weird screen share at the beginning of this video. The software is way too complicated for myself. All right, welcome. So if you're new to the group, it's pretty simple. We post a question collection thread every Monday. We collect questions on Friday. I answer them. So if you asked a question on our thread, I'm here to answer it today. If you're here live and you haven't posted a question, but you have one, no problem. Put it in the comment box and I will answer it now. If you've asked a question and you're not here live, you can catch the recording here in the Facebook group anytime you want. You can also catch it this coming Tuesday on the podcast. So we've been trying that out for a few weeks now, putting the audio recording of these lives on the podcast. I think we're going to stop doing that. I've been checking the metrics on the podcast. They've been a little bit down, which means not that many people are listening to these recordings on the podcast. That's okay. If we don't have any testimony feedback that people are liking it, we just go off the data. So if you do like that, let us know. If not, we're going to go back to our previous Tuesday podcast format, which is going just a little bit deeper into one specific question. Okay, so let me get into the questions. I also want to see, I got one thumbs up, so I want to see who's here. I have to look on my phone because I can't see it on my computer. Maybe if it cooperates, maybe not. All right, anyway, moving on. So Jenna had a question. Jenna said, I'm researching domestication of one of my clients' LLCs. So Jenna, let me know in the comments if you're a fellow attorney or if you're an accountant. So you said researching domestication of my client's LLC from one state to another and discovered their LLC expired in January. This actually happens because people usually use something like LegalZoom or something comparable to form their LLC. They don't understand their additional filing requirements and compliance requirements, and then the LLC ends up getting dissolved when they don't stay up with those requirements. So the person's LLC expired, it got dissolved. You said, can they still switch states if it expired, or will they have to renew it first? They ask if they should just apply for the LLC in the new state and dismiss the old one, but wouldn't that cause problems with the payments received since January is not going to their current tax ID? So from a tax perspective, if this person is an LLC, it doesn't matter because it's a pass-through entity, so we pay taxes. Technically, we may put in our EIN when we pay those taxes, but usually we're just paying them under our Social Security. Ultimately, though, it doesn't matter because when we file our tax return, our business income gets reported on our personal tax return. So at the end of the day, the IRS is going to say, you know what, Braden, regardless of what businesses you have out there in the ether, you owe us $22,000 in taxes. Have you paid us any taxes? I'm going to say yes. I made this quarterly tax payment of $5,000 on this day, $5,000 on this day, $5,000 on this day. Maybe I only made 3. That's $15,000. So they're going to say, okay, great. You owe us the remaining $7,000. The whole what business did we pay it under doesn't really matter until we get to the point where we owe business level taxes, which doesn't happen until we have C Corps. So that makes the tax thing really easy. As far as the LLC structure question goes, I would just look at it from a cost perspective. If they're even able to get their old LLC reactivated, if they are able to reactivate it, there's probably a fee with that. There's a fee with everything. So they would pay that fee, and then if domestication is available to them in both states, they will pay to domesticate into the new state. So in California, it's like $70 to file the domestication paperwork, and then you would dissolve it in the old state. So that's what that would look like. If they're going to have to pay a lot of money to get the LLC back up and running, like for example, if they have franchise taxes or annual reports that are due that are several $100s, then it might be easier just to start fresh with the new LLC in the new state, particularly if they're DIYing that or have the resources and the ability to do that on their own, or if you're going to do it for them. So hope that helps. Stay on top of your compliance tasks, everyone. Okay, next question comes from Joanne. I think is how you pronounce your name, Joanne. Let me know if I'm saying that wrong. You asked, if you have an S Corp and you are sued, what can they take from you? This is a great question. An S Corp is what we call a tax status. So you have what I call an underlying entity. You either have an LLC or a corporation that's then taxed as an S Corp. And both LLCs and corporations provide you with liability protection for your personal assets. So that means that if you're managing your entity correctly, you're not commingling your money, you're doing all your compliance tasks, they should not be able to go after any of your personal assets, only business assets, if you ever get sued. So they could potentially, if you don't have the money, they could put a lien against your business, your bank account, all that kind of stuff. But unless they're able to, we call it piercing the corporate veil. Unless they're able to pierce your corporate veil, they won't be able to go after your personal assets. So someone says they're fashionably late. Let me know. Drop your name in the comments so I know who's here, because I can't see it. I don't know. I can't see it on the comments on my computer, and on my phone, I'll show you. There's like no comment showing up. So it's not auto-focusing. There we go. I see no comments. I don't know what's happening. Okay. So next question comes from Trish. Trish says, will general liability insurance cover a florist doing a workshop with beginners who injure themselves or cut themselves or slip and fall? Trish, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know. So that is the type of thing that we would expect general liability insurance to cover, but you're going to want to ask your insurance provider if that is covered. So talk to your insurance provider, because it's all going to come down to what you originally got your insurance for. So if you tell them I'm a wedding floral designer, I do floral contracts for weddings and I do installations, and they say, okay, great, we can cover you. But now you're doing these workshops that may or may not fall outside of the typical scope of your services. So we have another comment here. It looks like this one's from YouTube, I think. I don't know who that is. If this is someone I know or not, let me know in the comments. Okay. So next question comes from Lori. Lori says, if I already have insurance on my own LLC and want to start a partnership with someone, do I need separate insurance for that business as well? So I already have an LLC and I want to start a partnership. Yes. So we never recommend general partnerships. Anytime you're going into business with a partner, you want to form an LLC for that business as well. So if this is separate and apart from your existing business, you're going to want to form a new LLC for this other business. And then that LLC is going to want to have its own insurance policy, its own bank account, all the things. So you said, thanks so much for answering my question. You're welcome. What about the money I've made previously from wedding bookings that I have mounting up in my business bank account? Someone who sues you could potentially get that. That's correct. So those are your business assets. Anything that is in your business bank account is leviable, so to speak. So yeah, basically anything that your business owns is gettable, if that makes sense. I don't like to get too complicated with all of those kind of issues because there's a lot of nuances there. But like we do have this rule that your business should be properly capitalized, which means you shouldn't just like flush all the money out of your bank account just for that reason. But most of us as service-based business owners, we don't really need to have much cash on hand to run our business, so you're fine. So you ask, how can I prevent that? Well, I mean, you can't really. Like, that's just the reality. So we obviously want to protect ourselves from lawsuits, but there's nothing, hopefully the main thing is you want to have your layers of protection in order. So you want to make sure that your LLC is up to speed. You want to make sure that you have solid business insurance, and you want to have some fantastic contracts with your clients. Above and beyond that, there's nothing that you can necessarily do to prevent people from suing you. Once you get sued, if you get sued, knock on wood, hopefully that never happens. But if you do, ideally your insurance policy will cover all the fees associated with it and pay out the claim. If it's something that you're covered for, which is why it's very important that we know what our insurance coverage is for. And if our insurance policy does not cover us, then hopefully the contract will protect us, but then we would still have to fight it out in court. The likelihood that they're ever going to be able to go after your business assets is pretty low, unless you really fuck something up, in which case, not a whole lot we can do about that. But most of us, for being responsible, doing all of our stuff, and we have our layers of protection in order, we should be in pretty good shape. So I don't see any other questions that are coming in. I hope that was helpful for everyone who had questions. If you have any questions, make sure you drop them on next week's question collection thread. And before I forget, I also want to remind you all that this week on the podcast, I did a 3-episode bonus series on what I call the Unfuck Your Biz Bootcamp. We did this as a live bootcamp this past fall, and this time I decided to take those trainings and put them on the podcast so you can go through the 3 episodes on the bootcamp, and it's going to help you determine how much you should be saving for quarterly taxes. So I know we're in the middle of tax season. That might not be an exciting topic, but once you get this tax return behind you, you're going to want to really focus on making sure that you're getting your quarterly taxes in order, so the next tax season is much more of a breeze. So check out the bootcamp. We have some free resources that go along with that. We posted those in the Facebook group this morning, so they are downloadable. We have a free small business tax deduction guide for you, as well as a quarterly tax estimation guide. Those are actually 2 of the guides that are in our Unfuck Your Biz course textbook. So this is my signature course. We have a full textbook, lots of guides, resources, and materials in here, and we're providing a couple of those to you for free this week as part of the bootcamp. So go watch the podcast episodes, listen to the podcast episodes, and then if you have follow-up questions on the bootcamp, you can either post them on our question collection thread for next week, or you can post them here in the Facebook group, and I would absolutely love to give you some feedback on those questions if you have any. So that's all for this week. I wish you all a great weekend, and I'll see you all next time. Later.